and a hearty welcome to all those who've joined us today on this post-Diwali, still in the holiday mood, but trying to get back to work Monday afternoon.
Mhm.
It's smoggy, slightly uncomfortable, a little chill in the air, Delhi afternoon. And as expected, the AQI is still breaking the scale, and wheezy lungs stand testimony to what has been a recurring problem, the air pollution in the backdrop of COP26, where the world leaders attracted many eyeballs and nothing much else. We collect here for celebrating what RTSY stands for. RTSY, or the Responsible Tourism Society of India, as you know, is a tourism industry body that has its heart beating for the cause of sustainability of environment, of socio-cultural fabric that we are so proud of, and of course, sustainability of our businesses, our industry. Lest you think that all this looks and sounds good, we are happy to share that this makes great business sense too, and this comes straight from our practitioners themselves. My RT story is in our attempt to get our practitioner members to share their journey with sustainability and just what got them onto it. Before getting any further, I invite Mr. Rakesh Mathur, Honorary President RTSY, to welcome all and also share his take on what RTSY stands for and its work. Mr. Mathur, over to you.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, everybody. And once again, it's a pleasure to meet everyone on our monthly RT Story meetings. And this time, I have the great pleasure of introducing Mr. Jose Ramapuram, who is Executive Director of Evolve Back Resorts. Not some of the best, but the best resorts that I have seen in Coorg, Kabini, Hampi, and I gather the latest one they've come up with is in Botswana. So it is their first foray into Africa. I have had personal experience of Kabini, and I must say that they are the most authentic experiential resorts, which not only promote local architecture, but also local art, handicraft, culture, local produce, and of course, our ancient knowledge of Ayurveda, yoga, and all that we have learned through the ages from our ancestors for both healing and for rejuvenation. Jose is a committed environmentalist that I know, and he's a traveler, which I also know. But what I didn't know is that he's a choir singer and a guitarist, and he loves to sing on the church choir every Sunday. He is a doting husband and a father of 3, and an alumnus of Madras Christian College, after which he followed it up with an MBA and joined this wonderful world of natural tourism, tourism based on the environment. Before I ask Jose to take us through his journey, just want to share with all our members who are attending or who will later on see this on other social media, that RTSY has been kept very, very busy, except for this little break during Diwali. We are very, very actively pursuing our responsible traveler program. We are about to launch in a few days, hopefully, our self-certification scheme, which will give members some kind of an award, which can be displayed on letterheads and so on and so forth. We are working very closely with certain state governments to evolve their ecotourism policies. So there's a lot happening. And Mandy, every time he wears a different colored turban, he comes out with a new idea, and he's just thrown a gauntlet of developing standard architectural designs for hill resorts and jungle resorts and so on. and Mandy will take this up as a challenge. I think it's a brilliant thought once again. But this is something that I had already been discussing with Anil Sharma, so we will bring him into the whole picture. We have our conveners who've been actively working towards promoting our ideals in different states, and we have 4 conveners who are all here. Samit, Janabi, I think she hasn't joined yet. She promised she'll be there. Janabi for the Northeast, Samit for Andaman Nicobar. We have Pirzada, Fayaz Ahmed for Jammu and Kashmir. And we have Ali from Madhya Pradesh, but he's unable to join us today as he's traveling somewhere. So with this little introduction, I would like both Sarath and of course, Sarath is a founder member. He's soon going to be our convener for Karnataka. And he's a little busy right now, but he has promised to come back on that. And he needs no introduction. We've journeyed together, both literally and metaphorically. We've done the Chambal ride together, Sarath, if you remember, and what an experience it was. So Sarath needs no big introduction, but Sarath, thank you very much. We all want to enjoy the conversation between you and Jose and go through the road traveled by Jose Ramapuram. Over to Jose and Sarath. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rakesh.
So, Madras, if I may interrupt here for a minute.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the arty story, we'd like to acknowledge and welcome our very special guest, Mr. Girish Arora. Girish is a Brazilian from Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and his introduction runs like an introduction to Andaman's tourism scenario. Can we spotlight him?
Yes, I can see Girish now. Hello, Girish. This is Rakesh Mathur, and our whole team, RTSOI, is here. We have Mandeep, we have Richa, of course, you met, Anjana, we've got Seema, who else? We have Shobha, and Sarath, of course, is a founder member. So what we do is we regularly, once a month, have these RT stories where people share their journey. And this is for the benefit of, and share their best practices. And this is for the benefit of our members. And I'm sure since you are almost a member now, you'll also have an opportunity to share your journey with other members. And as we go along, and thank you for joining, by the way, at short notice.
Thank you, sir.
And I think we'll have another one-to-one tomorrow sometime. But I'm so glad that Richa was able to meet you, and we were able to sort of get you into supporting our cause. So anything else? Would you like to say something, Girish, before we start?
No, thank you, sir. Thank you for introducing me. Glad to be with you all, like-minded people, and hoping to add something good, contribute to these islands with your support in the near future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Girish is based in Andaman Nicobar for everybody to know, and he's operating, I believe, I've not seen, but some of the best properties there. We'll get to know more about them maybe in the next RT story. So over, Anjana, over back to you.
Just 1 second, Anjana, just if I may interrupt, if you guys can share this on your respective pages on Facebook, it would be good. We're already there on we're already live on Facebook, so if you can just get everyone, whoever is active on Facebook, just go and share it, and it'll be showing up on your respective pages, and that really helps.
Okay.
We'll do that, Shobha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mathur, before we move on to the arty story, one more short information snippet. Sarath wears many hats, but the latest one is that the latest feather in his crown is that he's won the National Award for beautiful and very popular path-breaking documentary Wild Karnataka in the category of Best Exploration Film. So I just thought this is very important.
Congratulations.
Right.
This is something we should. This is something we should share with our entire membership.
Absolutely.
And
All of us have seen this.
and the tourism community at large. Thank you, Sarath. That's a great achievement. I'd like to see it myself.
Sure.
You actually directed it and made it? Yeah.
Produced it.
Yeah,
and
I'm one of
Produced.
the 3 director producers of this film. We shot it over 4 years in Karnataka. Got released
Wow.
in 2019. Evolve Back is one of our supporters. And 19 itself, it won the award, but as you know, because of the pandemic, it was announced later, and also the actual function took place about 10 days back in Delhi.
Fantastic.
Sharath, honored to have you back with us. Over to you now for RT Story. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjana.
Fantastic.
Sharath, honored to have you back with us. Over to you now for RT Story.
Thank you, Anjana. So I'll Rakesh already introduced JOS to an extent, but let me add a few points to that, and then hand it over to JOS. Is that fine? Is it some kind of an echo here?
There's some kind of echo which is happening. From
Yeah,
which
yeah.
We can all mute.
Okay, muted.
It's not because of that. It's, I think somebody's got their Facebook on and they've also got their this thing on. So switch off. I mean, if y'all are on Facebook, just share it and switch it off or keep it on mute. Then it'll be fine.
Okay.
Is it okay now, Sarah?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes, no more echo. Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Thanks.
get going.
Okay, so like I said, Rakesh already had a brief introduction to JOS, but I would like to add a few points and then also a little bit about Evolve Back and then hand it over to JOS himself for his presentation. Is that fine, Anjana?
Absolutely.
Okay. So like Rakesh mentioned already, JOS is one of the 7 Ramapuram brothers who own and run this family owned brand of experiential resorts. And he mentioned that we are mainly, Evolve Back is mainly in Karnataka with 3 resorts in Kabini, Coorg, Kabini and Hampi in that sequence. And then the recent one being in Botswana in the central Kalahari area, which is just 2 years old. But because of the pandemic, it was hardly operated. It was an exit by the company. So 4 Evolve Back resorts. And the entire Ramapuram family, that is JOS is one of the 7 brothers, they reflect the culture and values inherited by the family over many generations. And some of the values being integrity, respect for people, social and environmental responsibility, excellence rooted in values, and all these are reflected in the properties themselves, which offer experiential holidays, like Rakesh also mentioned right in the beginning. And JOS, apart from being an MBA and a choir singer, one interesting sort of tradition they all go through is sort of really makes their character, is that they have to go to an induction, so to speak. So before they got into resorts or tourism, remember they were a plantation-based family. Okay, they're a family of planters and having plantations in Coorg, in Kerala, and also a large plantation in the Western Ghats, which is a place called Kundapur. So all of them, all the brothers, after they finish their college education, they have to go through this hard induction. Hard meaning it's a tough life out there. So Joe spent 5 years of his induction in Kundapur, which is a 1,000-acre estate in the Western Ghats of Karnataka. I've heard so many stories from him and Cherian and others. Remote, wild place. It used to be 25 years back. Now it is slightly better. And he spent 5 years learning a plantation, how to run them. And in '94, they of course ventured into their first resort in Coorg. And now the story is well known about Evolve Back. So I just wanted to add that bit to Joseph's introduction and to the story of the Ramapuram brothers themselves. So over to Jose for his presentation. About 20 minutes, Jose, and then we will take it forward.
Thank you, Sharath. Thank you, Rakesh, Anjana. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to, present Evolve Back and our sustainability philosophy and, what we've done what we have tried to achieve over the last since 2004, when we actually formally stepped into this world of responsible tourism. So thank you very much. So let me, Sharath has actually, I think Sharath has taken some time and done some research on our family mission and vision and stuff like that to get our values and all in place. So thank you very much, Sharath. So shall I start the presentation now?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Share your screen.
I'll just share the screen. Okay, I hope y'all can see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, so, like the presentation says, it says a road to responsibility. So we believe that sustainability or responsible tourism aspect is not really a destination, but it's rather it's a journey. So we're constantly on a journey, on constantly evolving to, constantly finding ways to improve ourselves. So we are actually on a journey, and we've been on that journey since, I can say, for a long time, but we actually formalized it in 2004. So that is what I would like to present, the formalized version, because as Sharath said, we have been in the plantation field for very long. So we've been kind of connected with people and connected with the environment for a very long time, very, very long time. I think this year is actually our centenary year. So it's the 100th year since we stepped into the plantation industry. So but from my grandfather's time. So it's been a long journey, but we have really formalized it since 2004, 2005 period. So I would like to take you through the presentation here. So I would like to take you through this concept. This is because I thought that if I just showed all the initiatives we are doing and what we have done, it would be a rather shallow perspective of sustainability. I think what I felt was more important was to share with you our the deep wellspring from which this whole concept comes alive for us. So and actually, frankly, I will not be able to present to you everything that we are doing in terms of sustainability, because it's not that one big thing that we are doing. It's a thousands of little things that really make the properties and make our hotels sustainable. You will see how it gets you into tiny things. Even in the last month, we have taken a step which eliminates one particular kind of plastic which we were putting into incinerators. So it's a constant ways to find out how to replace, how to make things more sustainable. So I just want to bring to you this concept called Metanoia. This is what happened in 2004 for us, a transformative change of heart. So this is this is what, when a new idea kind of hits you, some new insight which you get leads to change. I think this is the period when 2006, Inconvenient Truth came out, and that is when the movement towards sustainability hit us actually. Effect is, we were faced with that in 2004-2005 period. So I remember it was at ITB. So where this concept, I got to know this concept, and I was very, very impressed by this concept. So for example, you don't know when these new insights will come and hit you. So these new insights can be like yesterday's Sir David Attenborough's talk, could be that. So it's different things to different people. So or it could be some talk you attend, some workshop you attend, or something that leads to some new insight that leads to a shift in your mindset, which leads to a transformative change of heart. So this is the basic thing that has to happen. What I believe is that this is what happened to us. If this does not happen to everyone, whatever steps we take, I think will be just too shallow. So once your mind and your heart is into sustainability, then you think sustainability, you speak sustainability, you act sustainability, your actions speak sustainability. So when your action speaks, you continuously act in a certain way, it forms a habit, and the habit forms a character, a continuous, your character is the sum total of your habits. And the character ultimately dictates your destiny or your purpose in life. So this is actually, this I wanted to present this one particular slide, which I thought was very important, because rather than just tell you the many steps that we have taken, which I'm going to show you, but I thought that there should be something deeper which I should share with you. So if you, this deeper change should happen, but I'm sure RTSOI members here, it's like we say, you don't have to teach the Pope how to celebrate a mass. So you're all much into it, far ahead of us. So because you're deeply involved in it. But I think for a lay person, this has to happen. Like a lay, hotel operators like us, resort operators like us, it happened thankfully in 2004, which actually changed our direction in our direction that we were going, which led to our mission statement. Actually, if you look at, this is our this is the purpose Evolve Back exists, is this. That is to provide exquisite holiday experiences. That's one side. Luxury, that is luxury holiday experiences. The second part is very important. This is our mission statement. So this is what we put up everywhere. This is what we see the world through, while preserving the purity of nature and culture of the land. So we have to, our entire effort goes into this, delivering these experiences, which while preserving the purity of nature and culture of the land, which means that sustainability has built into the core purpose of our existence. So this statement was crafted in 2005, immediately after this 2004 2005-6 period is when, with the 2005-6 financial year, when this statement was crafted. So it's preserving the purity of nature and culture of the land. So this is where it all started. And actually our tagline says, spirit of the land, capturing the spirit of a land. As you all know, we were Orange County. We have rebranded to Evolve Back to reflect this. What is Evolve Back? Evolve Back is evolving as we evolve. We go back to a time when the air was pure, the love was from the heart, people connected from the heart. So the food we ate was not contaminated. So that is the concept of Evolve Back. So which is directly connected with sustainability and responsible tourism. So on that, so now I will take you through some of our initiatives, because I thought this foundation to build on is very important, because my journey is different from your journey. Every person's journey is different. But if your heart and soul is in it, you will see only through the eyes of sustainability. So, but if you don't have that foundation, then everything you do is, seems without, it will seem to others. It's obvious, it will be obvious to others that it is without depth. So this is luxury. Evolve Back's business model is built around the philosophy of maintaining a fine balance between a successful business. Well, if you don't have a profitable business, then you're not even in the game. First, it is very important that you have a profitable business. A great experiential holiday for its customers, a healthy environment, and a proud and prosperous local community. So you will see that our efforts are, this is actually capturing in the same, slightly more expressive way of putting across our mission statement or our core purpose. So coming to the end, now I'm going to take you through just some of our actual initiatives, on the ground initiatives. What I've just listed some of them. Like I said, we are not able to list all of them here, but some of them I've listed out. So in the environmental initiatives, we have divided them into waste management, water, energy, and other conservation measures. So you can see some of the pictures are here. This is a picture of composting, actually, of dry leaves. You can see actually we capture 75% of our dry waste. So you can see a hall here where actually you can see each of these cubicles is a different item which goes out for recycling. So 75% of our waste goes out for recycling. And we are improving on that day by day. There is still more to go. We would, but there are challenges there. So recently we had, can you just pass that plastic? Yeah, that one, cashew. So we used to keep cashew nuts, roasted cashew nuts in all our rooms, and it's free for customers. So this is the pouch we used to keep it in. So this is plastic with some metallized plastic, so which had to be incinerated. So we found no alternative for it. So in the last 1 month, we have set up our own bottling unit where we have moved to bottles, which actually we bring back, sterilize, and recycle. So it's step by step. We used to have jute slippers, which looks very good, but we had a big problem with managing waste. But eventually that went out the door for rubber slippers, rubber slippers which are actually sterilized and reused at least a few times before we give it to people who can continue to use it. So this is you can see the waste segregation place, and we have to manage waste, even wet waste. You can see the biogas plant and state-of-the-art sewage treatment plants. All these are in place to manage waste. The rainwater, all our hotels have rainwater, very large rainwater harvesting facilities. State-of-the-art sewage treatment plants. Actually, all our horticulture needs are met with water from the sewage treatment plant, and the sludge is used as fertilizer. And you can actually, this is one of the first, we put a reverse osmosis unit in every room. This is in 2005 to eliminate plastic bottles, because our hotels are situated in very, environmentally sensitive areas. So we were finding it really a big problem with these plastic bottles. So we simply couldn't handle it at that time. So that is when we switched to reverse osmosis. So we, on a rough back of the envelope calculation, we kind of remove 150,000 units of plastic bottles annually from entering the waste streams. So none of our hotels have actually plastic water bottles at all. And in the rooms, we keep, you can just press of a button, you can get good, clean drinking water. And this is energy. Coming to energy, actually, this is an area where we are proud to say that we meet a good amount of our needs through green energy. In fact, we have a windmill. Our wind power generator is a 600 kVA generator. We also have 250 kWA capacity of solar. Our palace in Hampi, the roof is completely solar panels. So you can say almost 35% of our energy needs are met from 35 to 50% of our total from renewable energy sources. So, and we are increasing it. Actually, we are going in for a second windmill now. Karnataka government thankfully has a good system called wheeling and banking, which allows us to use our own energy and energy one from the windmill. They we can use the state grid to get it supplied to our hotels. So you can see our windmill and the solar panels here. So this is actually a Google Maps photograph of the land we acquired in Kabini. This Google Map photo is from 2005, as you can see. So the land was just cotton field. So because I had went with the architect George to see this land. We stepped out of the boat and we saw this, this tilled field there, agricultural field. So that is what we acquired actually. So this is how it looks now. This is I've taken today actually. This is a screenshot which I've taken today, but the place is completely the forest is regenerated. It's completely reforested. This is what it looks like now on the ground. So we had less than maybe 10 species of birds in that farmland. Today we have done an audit. They have identified over 150 species of birds in this area, and plenty of small animal life. So the area has completely become a wild natural jungle. We have selectively planted local plant species of trees and flora and plants, and so that the completely local forest has been regenerated over an 18-acre piece of land. So these are some of the steps we use. We have a daily session on educating our guests. Also, we have sessions on making bags with newspaper. We daily sessions for guests on waste management and creative recycling, and so we not only use this, but we also educate our guests on this. We have something called at our hotels. We have something called a responsible tourism tour that you can join on a daily basis. So we take our guests on a walk around the resort and show them all the measures that we do in terms of sustainability, and tell them how they can actually apply it in their own lives wherever they are. Many of it can be applied in their own life. So this is in Kabini. We work with the government in terms of firefighting measures. We sponsor vehicles to fight fires during the dry summer season. Also, our staff joins for animal census and forest cleaning up efforts and stuff like that. Working with the local community, I think, has been very close to our hearts. This is about local employment is one aspect. Another aspect, one of our major focus is actually on education, because we believe that education can really transform lives. So our focus, education is one of our key focus areas. So we adopt local government schools. We have our own school, built our own school here, state-of-the-art school, and we have other general community development initiatives. I'm going to take you through some of them now. So this is actually local employment. We aim at a 60% local workforce. Now, there is a reason behind the 60% number. The reason being that we want at least 40% of the people from various parts of the world, India and the world, actually to be working with us, so that they learn from the locals and the locals learn from the world. So it's kind of opening their minds, when they interact and work with people from all over the world. So that is the idea of the 60 local and 40 from everywhere else. So these are actually the boys. These are boys under training actually by Sharath. So they are from the local Jainu Kuruba tribe, which is close to Kabini. So they're being trained as guides, naturalists. So this is actually this is one of the schools that we have started in Coorg. This is a new initiative. It's actually a state-of-the-art school, which is, we have spent a lot of money on this, but I think this is a school where only for the local children from the local village and the nearby, tribal villages, children come in here, and it's completely free. We give them uniforms, fantastic state-of-the-art education, and breakfast and lunch, everything paid for. So our idea was to is to repeat this in all our locations, because our locations where we are located are very remote areas where the educational infrastructure is not that strong. So we believe that we can really, we can really change lives by educating children. So by giving education, so we should be able to contribute positively to transform. Education is something we believe that can really transform lives. So it's a novel preschool which is near. It's managed by an expert in education, because obviously we are not specialists in running schools. So it's managed by a really top class educator called Building Blocks. And the it serves children of the underprivileged in the immediate neighborhood. It's completely free. So actually what has happened is that the government, once this school has started functioning, it's now 3 years, the local government school has applied, because the children who came out of this school was far higher standard than the intake of the government school. This government school has now applied and got permission, and from this year the government school has changed into an English medium school. So the government has changed the government school, high school, to meet our children, because we were sending out 30-40 children every year from this school. So I think my idea, evolved back. What we thought was that we will go with our idea was that we build the schools and we get our guests to sponsor these children, so we can concentrate on building more schools. So, and now this is the first one in Coorg. We want to do another one in Kabini, in Hampi, near all our hotels, so that we'll have control over them. And we will build the state-of-the-art schools and get our guests. I'm sure, they're very well off guests. So it does not cost much, 25,000 rupees a year. You will sponsor a child's education and food for 1 year. So, that continues to be our idea for the future. So this is adopting the local government school. So as you know that, in India, the government schools, many of them, at least in our part of the world, are, the infrastructure wise, they're not, they're not really up to the mark. So we have actually adopted the local government school at Coorg, Kabini, and Hampi. So what is close to us, they've close to our resorts we have adopted, and we provide uniforms, we provide food, we actually set up computer labs. In fact, we have our own teachers. We have teachers on our payroll teaching them English and computers. So it's taken to a completely different level. So this is our local school in Coorg that you see here, which is, you can see, we have a reading library which is set up by this institution called Hippocampus from Bangalore. They specialize in, building reading capabilities in children. So we have, like I said, we have trained teachers on our payroll to teach them. So we take students on wildlife safaris in Kabini. Actually, once a year, we take all the school children on a safari, because they are village children. They should see the forest as well. We thought that they should learn to respect the environment. They should know that, it's a good thing that they should conserve the environment. So this is education to the villagers on eco-sensitive activity, and sustainable practices for daily lives. So this is working with the local villages, and these are other, we are fully involved in the village, medical camps and polio and scholarships, and we are fully involved with the community. I think our involvement with community is very deep, because as you know, how we are a luxury brand, so we want the people in the village to believe that, they should be proud of us rather than, us being a stand away kind of a, at a distance kind of thing, so that was the idea. So we work very closely with the villages that surround us. And this is local culture. So we actually have all the evening entertainment is only by locals. So whatever the local culture is what we showcase for our evening entertainment programs. As you can see here, this is in Hampi. The earlier one was in Kabini. This we work with the local communities, and actually they provide, this is actually bamboo weaving being taught to one of the guests. So we work very closely. This is actually a program because we place one card on for every guest. It's a personal handwritten card when a guest checks in. So we brought in the local tribal welfare groups and taught them how to make these cards, and now we buy back the cards from them. Local economy is we source our food as much as possible locally. We also have tied up with local organic farms. Actually, some of the organic farms we work with, we buy as much as 200,000 rupees worth of vegetables and products every month from some of these farms. So we buy a whole series, including milk is organic milk used in many of these, many of our resorts. Also at our hotels, we feature an ethnic counter which showcases local, absolutely local food. And even in the regular menu, we feature local food, and we encourage local talent. We work with the local community whenever we can, because all our activities at our hotels are also inspired by the way of life. So visit the local tea shop and the boulevard rides. And so here is a local artist we have taken in Hampi. So he draws actually the welcome cards, and we pay him on a per card basis. And he does beautiful sketches of the monuments in Hampi. So this is actually the vegetables that we buy. This is where we tie up with local farming society, organic cooperative societies, and to buy vegetables for use at the hotel. Also, we teach local food recipes to our guests on a regular basis. Now, this is another initiative that we have, is that we believe that if we can change the mindset of opinion makers, because our guests are 99% of them are from the cities, and they're really from the high-end market, so who can actually drive opinions. So we have a constant conversation with them through various means. So basically projecting the nature and building a love for the environment in them in whatever way we can. So that's a constant effort through many of our, if you look at many of our campaigns, Evolve Back's campaigns, many of them don't show our hotels at all, actually. So we show the nature, and we want them sitting in their drawing rooms in Bombay, Delhi, and Bangalore and Chennai, sitting in their drawing rooms. They should feel the pain when a forest is destroyed. So because we wanted to build an attachment. That is the idea of this conservation through conversations. So that is why we have, we have a constant dialogue with them. Even when they visit us, we connect them in an enjoyable way, with the local people, and so that they have a greater understanding of the local environmental issues and, cultural, the local culture. They connect with the local culture in a meaningful way. And we also, the tourists and the hosts, we teach them to treat each other respectfully. And the pride among the locals is a very important thing. So we try and build that pride and confidence, which is lacking in many of the people in these remote areas. And like I said, we have a tour for responsible tourism, educating people on our responsible tourism policies and all our initiatives at various hotels. And we also give them an opportunity, like I said, to sponsor the children. Actually, sponsoring the children last 2 years, because the school opened 3 years ago, and last 2 years we have been the school has been shut. So, but hopefully, we always think on the brighter side, and I think next year, I think it will come back on track, and we will, and I'm sure our guests will be delighted to support these little children, on their journey to transformation. So these are various interaction platforms that we provide for guests to interact with our, and we, local culture, like every hotel has something special. Like in Kabini, we have a complete nature gallery. In Coorg, we have actually a coffee and culture museum. So basically, all the idea is to educate our people on the nature and culture of these, and so that when something happens in Kabini, the person who's sitting in Bombay or Bangalore should feel concerned and should talk about it. And these are, many of our guests are powerful people. So, if we can move them, we believe we can make a difference. They can make a difference. So this is actually some of our campaigns that we have. This is one of our award-winning campaigns called Lifescapes. It's actually just, the entire campaign ran for over 150 issues. We are shortly bringing out a coffee table book on this. It's one of the best marketing campaign at Pure Life Experiences and at various forums. So the idea is that we don't show the resort or talk about the resort at all in this entire campaign. We talk about the nature and culture of our land. That's it. So this is another campaign. We have more campaigns. I'm not listing all the campaigns here, but all our campaigns, you will see if you visit our website, they're all driven by nature and culture and its preservation and conservation. You will see very little of our resorts in any of them. This is local heroes. Actually, this is actually showcasing, real heroes from our communities. People that stand out, shine out, who in our communities, and we've made videos on them, video stories on them. So it's called Local Heroes. So we work, these are the campaigns. Our most successful ad campaigns are actually these, not the ones we put up on our suites or on our pool villas, but we believe that our this is the backbone of our brand. So coming to the end of my presentation, so I just want to ask this question, is your sustainability vision driven by passion? Is it driven by your heart? Because if it is driven by your passion and driven by your heart, then you will know what is right and what is wrong, because what's in your heart ultimately comes out as your words and comes out as your action. As most crimes are first committed in the heart and in the mind before it is actually the actual committing of the crime is only execution. It's the same way. What's in your mind and what's in your heart gets executed. So that is the point is that the same question. So what is in your heart, and if sustainability is driven by passion and driven in your heart, that is what will come out in your actions and your words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jose. You're done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for a lovely presentation.
So shall I stop sharing my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you for your presentation, Jose. Truly inspiring. And in many ways, I've also been involved with these campaigns. I know, like you said, passion. So it's a truly inspiring presentation. Can you hear me, Jose? Others? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can, Sarath.
Yeah, sure. So I will just sort of have a couple of questions or conversations with you before there are any other questions in the chat box. We don't have too much time. Anjana, can you guide me on the time?
We'll take 10 more minutes, Sarath.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So are there any questions in the chat box? I didn't check.
Not as yet.
Okay, done. So one of the things, Jose, I wanted to ask you. Are you there?
Go ahead. Listening.
Yeah. Is that like is the water campaign you talked about, where the individual RO units were introduced in the rooms in way back in 2005, and which resulted in the fact that about 150,000 bottled plastic mineral bottle water bottles have been removed from the system, right? So what I wanted to ask is that, has it sort of inspired other resorts in the area to adopt something similar? So, I mean, because ultimately it's about inspiring not only the guests, but maybe other players. I don't know.
I know that many of them have moved over to glass bottles.
Okay.
Many of them are moved over to glass bottles, but I don't think, I have not seen a reverse osmosis plant because I think that's got to do a little bit with engineering also. You need to manage the waste of the water, and there are some issues with related to that. So it needs some engineering, but many of them I know that have shifted to glass bottled water.
Sure. In the similar way, the RT walks which you do and which we do in the resorts for our guests on a daily basis, have they sort of have any guests come back with their stories of being inspired by the food they have adapted, or what is lives?
Oh, I think your voice got cropped a bit.
Okay. Shall I repeat it?
Yeah.
What I said was the RT walks, which is also done as a activity or experience in the resorts on a daily basis. So have you heard back from any of the guests saying, they got inspired by the initiatives taken to sustain and on sustainability towards environment, and had it brought around any transformation in their daily lives? I mean, small changes.
The whole idea is that, and many of the guests are. You will be surprised how involved they are. Actually, will you believe if I told you that some guests came and stayed with us for a week to teach in our government school?
Oh, wonderful.
They came to teach. They came and stayed with us, and when they came, they brought a whole lot of educational toys for the children, and so that's the idea, that when we take them on a tour and we say that this is a school that we have adopted, and this many of the guests have already sponsored computers, but we have had a problem because the computer, like companies from the city, they sponsor like computers, printers and all that, but they don't know that this place doesn't have power. So it's a challenge, but we work with them, and in a long term we have accepted it, and we have actually worked with them and put in UPS to make their computers work. So we act as a bridge between the contributions by these individuals and of course the reality of life there.
Sure.
Yeah. So even in their personal lives, I'm pretty sure that the kind of stuff that we do, they go back and implement many of them. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it makes a powerful impact on their at the stay during the resorts when they go to that. I'm sure. I just wanted to see if there was any element of that. My last question before others can ask is that the program or the initiative of conservation through conversations. So how far has it progressed, and how has
I can tell you that, when we started this first initiative of Lifescapes, we had a database that was in 2009. We had a database of around 7,000 people. Today, our emails go out to over 200,000 people.
Wow.
And we get very high rate of opens, very less unsubscribes, basically because we don't talk about our hotels.
That's
so it is, people are there because they can read stories, and it's actual real life stories, that inspiring stories. So but it is working well for the brand, and it's actually getting the message of conservation across. So it's done brilliantly well. I think, from a marketing point of view, as I had marketing, from a marketing point of view, I think it's done really well from that angle. And also it's worked brilliantly well in terms of creating awareness about our destinations, into this 200,000, over 200,000 people.
Sure. Okay, one last, sorry, I said last to the last, but one last one. In Botswana, in the Kalahari, where the 4th resort has come up, are the similar RT initiatives been adapted already?
No, definitely. We actually, well, it has not been much since we took over, and unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we have not been able to visit that place also over the last 2 years. But I think already, we have put in, solar. Actually, the living conditions of the staff there was really not that hot. So, we have gone in there and given them power, and first, I think we need to look after our people and the people who look after us. So we have worked really on that. And I think, see, it's a, like I said, it's a mindset. It's not that we are making an effort consciously to do it, but whatever we do, I'm quite sure it will happen through this route, because that's part of our DNA. That is why that was my point about that first slide, that it has to come from your heart.
Absolutely.
Your heart has to be transformed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for a very inspiring journey through Evolve Back Resorts and the whole story of RT. Over to Anjuna and Rakesh.
Thank you, Sarath.
Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Sarath. Thank you, Jose. Any questions from anybody?
I have a comment, Jose, and it's not a question. There have been various reports that RO water is actually unfit for drinking. And there is nothing better than the traditional filtered, softened, and passed through your ultraviolet or AquaGuard.
It depends on the groundwater.
Yeah. No, I said soften. You have to soften it to that particular required degree. But RO takes out the complete, nutrition out of water. It's nothing but hydrogen and oxygen. So I think that is something that we may look into.
But I think now they have remineralizing, they add minerals back to RO water as well. But like the point is that when, we have to address the concern of the guest. We can put a bottle of water there, but the guest may not be convinced. So that is the idea. So he will still continue to have that water. So the point is that I understand what you're saying is that, all the minerals are removed. That's why it's unhealthy. So that is where now people are adding back minerals into the water.
And I believe the extract from RO is also of, it wastes a lot of water.
Yes, yes, it does.
Yeah, so that is the...
Yeah, so, it is taken into account, considering that, the amount of plastic bottles that can come in is not a joke, if you allow it. So, and, I was in Maldives yesterday. So the desalination plants, desalinate everything, reintroduce minerals. So the point is that it is all, we believe, this is our belief. We believe it's a give and take. You just have to balance and see what is best for you and what is the best thing working. If we can have a better, clear, good drinking water option, that is the best. Like you said, natural spring, that is the best. If you have, there's no two ways about it. But if you only have filtered water which comes through a pipe, I don't know how many people will actually consume it.
No, it's filtered, softened to the right degree where you have certain mineral content, and then passed through the ultraviolet, the AquaGuard or the ultraviolet.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of hotels are now moving back to that old. And ultraviolet kills the necessary germs, and so does the AquaGuard, which is the same thing. So anyway, this is just a thought, and it's up to you.
Sure. No,
Whichever is
so we learn, yes.
Yeah.
Jose, thank you for this excellent presentation, and it has given rise to a lot of questions, and I'm going to take those offline because we've ran out of time here. And thank you for telling us that total sustainability is a process that's constantly evolving. My learnings are many, but your mantra, new insights lead to change of mind, that leads to transformative change of heart. And we go back to the old man, vachan, and karm se, it makes your destiny. If you follow something with, thoughts, words, and actions, and habits, and character and destiny. Thank you for sharing this story, Jose, and thank you so much for taking us through, Sarath. For such stories, we have our My RT Story as a program, but please join and engage with RTSOI. Be on the lookout for and be the harbinger of our latest initiatives that we bring to everyone time to time. On this note, we end today's session. I thank you all for joining. Winding up for the day, I'm Anjana Dheer from RTSOI. Of course, while we are at it, let's also resolve to connect on various social media platform, website, telephones, etc. Thank you very much.